Chen Bai breathes heavily. The whip tightens more and more around his chest. The pain keeps growing like it's digging into him. It's not just pain anymore, it starts to feel like something is crawling under his skin. It's itching now, in the worst possible way. He realizes this thing is not just hurting him, it's trying to mess with his mind too. On the other end of the whip, Mangantooth acts all smug and creepy. She even licks the whip like some kind of drama queen who thinks she's starring in a twisted love story. Of course, she's not just playing around, she believes this whip is her masterpiece. It's powered by her so-called divine authority and designed to control anyone who dares to feel even a bit of raw emotion. Basically, she's turned into the queen of cringe and bondage. Chen Bai stays calm. He doesn't break under pressure. Even with that painful whip wrapped around him, he mocks her like a true pro. He isn't impressed at all, and he's already thinking that if this is her big opening move, she might want to rethink her whole act before he gives her a 1-star review. Mangantooth walks over, acting all seductive, like she's in some kind of cheap romance drama. She tries to insult him by saying he's still too lovely, even after all that pain, so now she plans to step it up a notch. She gets way too close and grabs his chin, then suddenly plants a kiss on his lips. Yeah, she's not just a villain, she's a whole red flag factory. That kiss messes with Chen Bai's head. His mind drifts into nothingness, like he's falling into a strange dream world. In that emptiness, he sees Helrose calmly sitting at a dining table. Chen Bai drifts toward her, still stuck in this dream reality. Helrose, as usual, drops some wisdom bombs. She reminds him that it's okay to relax sometimes, but only if he knows how to pull himself back when it counts. A flash of starlight appears in her hand and brushes past him. Instinctively, he grabs it. Everything clicks. In that moment, Chen Bai snaps back to reality. The grip of Mangantooth's whip loses its hold on him. His virus body armor activates, and now he looks like a walking fortress. Mangantooth is completely shocked. Her little plan was supposed to turn him into a helpless puppet, but now he's standing strong, totally unaffected by her cheap tricks. She can't believe it. She's in full meltdown mode. Her so-called charm is supposed to overpower her victims and make them forget how to fight. But Chen Bai is built different. He just broke through her control like it was made of paper. Before she can react, he vanishes. Then he reappears behind her faster than she can blink. His virus armor has sharp thorns, and they stab into her without mercy. She starts screaming about the pain, crying over how many spikes are on his body. Maybe next time she should think twice before trying to seduce a man who literally wears pain-like armor. Chen Bai lifts her up and jumps onto the bed behind them. At this point, he's done playing nice. He decides his tool will do all the talking from here. It's time for some well-deserved punishment. Mangantooth lies flat on her belly, trapped under the unshakable grip of Chen Bai. Her limbs don't budge, and her pride is now as bruised as her body. She tries to think of a way out, and her mind races to the easiest solution, killing him. Her deadly tail rises, sharp and shining, ready to strike him from behind. But something makes her stop. For once, hesitation creeps in. This man, unlike all the others, still hasn't fallen under her spell. That's the first. She begins to wonder, should she really kill the only person who managed to resist her overwhelming charm? That kind of challenge is rare, and she knows it. Chen Bai immediately notices the change in her. She isn't attacking anymore. Her tail lowers instead of striking. He doesn't waste the opportunity. Since she backed off, he decides it's time to finish this round with full force. No holding back for someone who just tried to stab him in the back, literally. Mangantooth has given up, admitting this is just a projection and not her real self. Now she's more interested in watching Chen Bai spiral into madness. 3 days pass, and the same bed that was once a battlefield now holds two completely exhausted warriors. Both Chen Bai and Mangantooth lie flat, barely able to breathe. The silence says it all. Chen Bai reflects on the crazy battle they just had. It wasn't easy, not even for someone like him. A system message pops up. Chen Bai has cleared the 437th floor. No backtracking this time. 21 save points used, but victory is still his. He calmly chooses a 1-hour recovery window before heading out again. He sits upright and thinks over his journey. Minotaur, Hydra, Golden Wolf, the Undead, and now this drama, Loving Demon Queen, 5 powerful gods down. Each of them gave him something unique, something useful in battle. But what awaits him next is still a mystery. The 6th trial could be anything. Far away in the true abyss on that same 437th floor, the real Mangantooth lies on her luxurious bed. Her eyes gaze into the void, and the name Chen Bai slips from her lips. One of her servants asks for orders, but Mangantooth doesn't answer right away. She starts reminiscing. That projection of hers had quite the experience. For the first time, she got a taste of what it feels like to be overpowered. Not with brute strength, but with pure willpower and mental dominance. It's almost addictive. She slowly rises and gets a wild idea. Maybe she should go to the 500th floor and kill the next monster waiting for Chen Bai. If she does that, she can help him move forward, and then face him again at a higher level. Maybe, just maybe, she can feel that thrill again. But her bold thoughts crash the moment she remembers who guards the 500th floor. The the Lord of Eternal Night. That guy isn't just dangerous, he's terrifying. Even Mechantooth, with all her fake charm and over-the-top confidence, knows she wouldn't last 5 seconds against that beast. She sighs, already admitting defeat before even trying. All that big talk, only to back off at the first real challenge. Truly fitting for someone who thinks licking a whip is sexy. What a disappointment. Later on the 500th floor of the Abyss, Chen Bai finally arrives at the last stage of the trials. He looks up and sees his final opponent, the Lord of Eternal Night, Awakens, sitting like a boss on top of a cliff, acting as if he owns the whole place. Chen Bai, standing below, stares him down without a shred of fear. Awakens, dressed in that typical over-the-top demon royalty fashion, tries to sound dramatic and mysterious. He acts like he's reading from a script, declaring that Chen Bai's journey is supposed to end here. According to him, Chen Bai might have made it far, but he'll never become a legend. Classic villain behavior, full of big words and zero results. The system then confirms it. This guy really is the Lord of Eternal Night, Awakens. Level 10, the strongest of the strong. But strangely, there are no special conditions to clear this floor. That alone feels suspicious. Chen Bai, clearly not in the mood for this theater performance, just grins. He's not here to talk. He jumps into the air, planning to end the fight fast and move on. But the moment he makes his move, the Awakens vanishes into thin air. Not even a puff of smoke, just gone. Now that's just rude. Chen Bai immediately switches into hunter mode. He activates heat tracking, tries using psychic vision, and even spreads a bunch of deadly viruses, everything from influenza to pneumonia to the mental worm variant. The whole battlefield turns into a biohazard zone. He climbs up the cliff to get a better view. Still, no sign of Awakens. Not even a shadow. His heat sensors can't pick up anything in this thick darkness. Psychic vision also fails. Everything seems designed to block his detection. Chen Bai knows what this means. He'll probably have to die a few times just to figure out how to beat this guy. Nothing. It starts feeling like a really long loading screen. Then, suddenly a system message pops up. The 500th floor is cleared. Recovery time selection available. Chen Bai stands there, confused. That's it, no battle, no damage. And he just cleared the floor. It doesn't make any sense. He starts wondering if this is some sort of trap. Things were never this easy before. Something definitely smells fishy, and it's not just the viral cloud he spread earlier. Awakens, meanwhile, is sitting on another cliff, behind Chen Bai. Looking at Chen Bai, Awakens remarks, "What an interesting human," and then he starts vanishing like some emo ghost king. Then, right before disappearing completely, he mumbles something cryptic about looking forward to meeting again. Chen Bai turns around and tries to process what just happened. What does he mean by this, and why did he let him pass? The dude dodged the fight and dropped a mysterious message before ghosting away. Chen Bai curses Awakens. These riddle-loving weirdos always leave behind some cryptic words, acting like the universe revolves around their half-baked philosophies. In his eyes, anyone who talks in riddles instead of being clear should be kicked off a cliff, preferably their own. Chen Bai, not in the mood to waste time, picks the shortest recovery option available, just 1 second. However, the system gives him a reality check. Turns out, the shortest valid choice is 1 minute. Anything less, and he'll be thrown right into the next floor without a break. Instead of hesitating, he taps yes like a champ and gets ready for whatever's next. He is instantly teleported, landing on the 51st floor. Or at least, where it used to be. There's nothing there now, just a mess of collapsed space. The system then informs him the entire floor has broken down. Without missing a beat, it moves him forward again. Now he's floating through the abyss, drifting in darkness once more. His thoughts grow heavier. This pattern is becoming too familiar. Floors are skipping like broken chapters in a story. He wonders how many more have been erased. So far, he's defeated 6 god-level bosses. That means there can't be many left, or so he hopes. But reality doesn't care about his hopes. The system keeps going and skips over 99 more levels. No warning. No explanations. The next thing he knows, he's slammed onto the ground of Abyss level 600. The system then delivers 2 pieces of news. First, there is no current lord ruling this floor. Second, it's about to extract the phantom of the former demon lord. Chen Bai knows instantly that this won't be anything good. He stands still, and his eyes narrow. 100 floors still remain, and the system pulls out a monster from the history books. A new message appears. Abyss level 600, Demon Clan Incarnation of Evil, level 10 boss of Satan. Chen Bai freezes his mind, refuses to believe it. This is Satan, the traitor who turned against the Abyss itself, the twisted genius who created hell, the original god of evil. And now, somehow, he's here reborn as a phantom. A thick red mist gathers in front of Chen Bai and begins to twist into a human-like shape. The air grows heavy. The pressure increases. And then a voice echoes through the darkness. That voice claims surprise. Satan didn't expect his mind to wake up again in the abyss. Even in this broken-down section, his presence is still overwhelming. Chen Bai stares, stunned, unable to accept what he's seeing. Satan has actually come back from the dead in some form. And he's standing right here. The phantom claps, amused. Clearly, Satan has been waiting centuries just to act like a theater performer with monologues nobody asked for. He sees Chen Bai and assumes this must be the challenger who reached this level. He even tries to play friendly, asking who Chen Bai is. In his mind, Chen Bai just sighs. This guy talks too much. The real devil isn't horns and fire. It's someone who can't shut up in the middle of a fight. Without saying a word, Chen Bai hides one hand behind his back and starts releasing his deadly viruses. Satan keeps talking. He mentions how his real body no longer exists. He goes on about peace, saying he doesn't enjoy violence. He even suggests having a casual chat, and as if they're two old friends catching up over tea. Chen Bai, standing quietly, doesn't even bother replying. Satan notices Chen Bai staying quiet and decides to test him. Clearly chatting isn't on the menu, so the demon lord skips the small talk and charges him for a punch. But Chen Bai, ever the prepared one, quickly activates his hellfire shield just in time. The fiery defense holds strong, blocking the explosion of force from Satan's punch. Satan pauses, clearly surprised. He even sounds impressed for a moment. Turns out, Chen Bai is using hell's own flames against its original master. That's bold. Brave, but Satan, being the overdramatic villain he is, treats this like some epic betrayal. He claps back with a reminder, he is the ruler of hell, and who does Chen Bai think he's borrowing power from? In a dramatic move straight out of a stage play, Satan snaps his fingers. And just like that, the hellfire obeys. It coils around Chen Bai like a venomous snake, locking him in place. Chen Bai can't even twitch a finger. The power he used to protect himself now becomes his prison. Frustration builds inside Chen Bai. He's stuck. If he stops using the hellfire armor, he can dodge, but that would leave him exposed. If he keeps using it, then Satan will just keep locking him down like this. Either way, he's cornered. There's no winning in this state. It becomes clear he might need to rewind and approach this differently. Satan watches with that smug, "I'm so clever" expression. He tosses a fake pity party for Chen Bai, saying how sad it is to come this far just to die here. Then, without shame, he tosses in a surprise offer. Cooperation. Chen Bai, still burning and bound, isn't buying it. He pushes back and questions if this is how Satan wants to cooperate. Realizing he might have jumped the gun, Satan pretends to be polite and snaps his fingers again. The hellfire melts away from Chen Bai's body, setting him free. Now face to face, Chen Bai demands to hear the real deal. What kind of cooperation is Satan babbling about? Satan, sounding more like a used car salesman now, explains that his real body is long gone. Only this phantom version remains, created through the Abyss trial. But in his eyes, this is a perfect chance to make a comeback. Chen Bai narrows his eyes. To him, this is just a phantom. Nothing real. Nothing dangerous yet. But Satan has an answer for everything. He claims the Abyss build projections based on what's left of a being's life force. And if someone manages to carry that life force out of the Abyss, then even someone like Satan could come back for real. Chen Bai asks the most obvious question, what's the cost of this? Satan, still pretending to be generous, insists there is no price. Just walk out of the Abyss carrying his soul fragment. That's all. No danger, no deal with the devil, just perks. He even throws in a bonus of a slice of his ancient hell legacy. Because clearly this demon is desperate for a ride out. In his mind, Chen Bai is already rolling his eyes. A deal with zero risk and unlimited reward. Yeah, sure. And cows probably fly in hell too. He isn't dumb enough to fall for the oldest trick in the villain handbook. Still playing along, Chen Bai asks how exactly he's supposed to help. Satan then pulls out a ring. He claims this shiny little trinket can hold his life imprint. All Chen Bai has to do is take it out of the Abyss. And once Chen Bai takes him out, this ring will be his. Chen Bai grabs the ring and stares at it in surprise. The system pops up, revealing this is the legendary Solomon's Ring, a top-tier SS-level treasure from the Lord of Hell himself. This ring boosts strength, agility, and body toughness by half. It adds 200 points to spirit and over 3,000 points to every other stat. Talk about overkill! The ring holds the soul imprints of the 72 most powerful demon lords of hell, known as the Pillars of Demons. That means it can call and command these demon big shots, kind of like a demonic group chat but with way deadlier members. Known as the Ring of Deep Knowledge, it slashes skill learning time by 80% and cuts cooldowns for main and sub-skills by half. This is basically cheat mode for anyone trying to level up fast. The ring also unlocks the Hell King form, turning the wearer into a super-powered nightmare. In that form, all stats double and skills have zero cooldown for 15 seconds. Imagine the chaos when someone gets to spam abilities like a madman. On top of all that, the ring opens the Gate of Hell, a gateway carrying some of the Hell God's power. Inside Hell, all powers get a massive boost, and the Hell Gate can be opened anytime, like a VIP pass to unlimited mayhem. No gear requirements mean anyone can just slap this thing on and suddenly act like the king of hell. Chen Bai can't help but curse, wondering how Satan, a literal traitor and evil mastermind, could hand over something so powerful without a catch. Inside his mind, Chen Bai tells himself trusting a villain feels like trusting a cat not to knock things off the table. He wonders, trying to figure out how to get out of this trap without getting burned. Breaking this deadlock feels like trying to outsmart a fox, who thinks he's a genius, but is really just a sneaky goofball. Chen Bai finally puts on the ring and tries to activate the Hell King form, but nothing happens. He stays frozen, like a statue that forgot its job. Frustration builds and he accuses Satan's ring of being a fake. Satan, with all the charm of a used car salesman, explains that the ring doesn't fully belong to Chen Bai yet. He apologizes, but honestly it sounds more like a lazy excuse. After all, Satan is just a leftover ghost tied to a memory, so this ring is the only thing he can offer for now. Chen Bai doesn't buy the story for a second. Deciding to end this annoying standoff, he attacks Satan with everything he has, declaring that trust isn't on the menu today. Satan just grins like the ultimate villain who's been expecting this. He just snaps his fingers and traps Chen Bai again in hellfire. Now Chen Bai is stuck, unable to move a finger. Satan mocks him, saying that even if Chen Bai refuses to use hellfire, the hellish power inside him ensures he can never truly fight back. The god of hell owns this game, no matter how hard Chen Bai tries to play it his way. On his knees and huffing like a dog chasing its tail, Chen Bai asks what happens if he refuses to cooperate. Satan, still playing the long game, says killing Chen Bai is pointless since it could be years before the next challenger appears. Instead, he plans to waste time with Chen Bai until someone else with a bit more sense walks through the abyss. Chen Bai, tired of this endless stalemate, finally agrees to cooperate. Hanging out forever in this twisted game doesn't sound like a vacation, so making a deal with the devil, literally, seems like the lesser evil. And that was it from today's video. I hope that you liked the video, and if you did, hit that like button as the goal for today is 1,500 likes. Comment next part down below to see what happens next. Also, consider subscribing with the notification bell on to get notified as soon as a new video drops onto the channel. You can also join the channel to support me financially and watch videos before public release. I'll meet you in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching.